Kiara.
And you're now entering the Sister Chat. Welcome to our podcast, Main Event Mamas.
Woo, woo. And this is our first episode of our new format, all about wrestling. So I'm excited. I'm thrilled. You guys asked, and this is all yours. An entire episode dedicated to all the thoughts and feels we have for multiple wrestling divisions across companies today.
For real.
So, and it's a big weekend. I mean, are you psyched for this weekend, Tanesha?
Yes, because it is Saturday Night Live. Main event. Saturday Night Live too, but main event.
Yep, the main event. And then NXT Battleground too.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then of course SmackDown. Like, are we gonna forget? Like, this is like a whole...
No, of course. SmackDown's on Friday. Why not?
It's a whole WWE and also AEW kind of weekend because we still got the collisions and I forget what's on Friday. Do they still have Rampage? Y'all can tell us.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know.
But anyway, we're gonna dive into some SmackDown, some Raw, a little NXT, and then we're gonna give you our picks for these two huge events this weekend: Saturday Night Main Event, and then also for
NXT Battleground.
That's right. And who got this girl to watch NXT?
You did.
I did it. And I'm psyched. I'm psyched, y'all. It only took all the begging and pleading and our nice visit with the Wrestling Junkies podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you all for all your support in getting her to the table. If we can keep her there, that would be great. So
yeah, but I say, don't get so excited. I just only watched one episode. I don't.
One episode. That's all we need, right? One episode is all we need, I hope. Anyway, so let's kick it off with SmackDown. We're going to start from Friday, and we're going to work our way forward. So much happened on SmackDown, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good gracious. It was so many things. But the first thing I want to talk about...
Okay. I'm listening.
...is JC Mateo and his new name. Because shout out to Jeff Cobb, who does still sound like a substitute teacher. I'm super happy that they gave you, I think, a nickname, even though they didn't exactly tell us for sure what's happening here. But his impromptu match with LA Knight, what'd you think?
I think that was a very good match. I think for him to have his first match on WWE, I think it was right to have it with LA Knight. I think LA Knight also came out swinging the match before, and it was like you had to give it. Like, you had to give LA Knight and JC Mateo this opportunity to come in because he came from nowhere during...
I mean, he was somewhere.
Well, I mean, but technically, like, we didn't know he was coming.
That's true.
Solo knew he was coming, but no one else knew he was coming. So to me, he came out of nowhere. And technically, even though I'm happy Jacob won, but I feel like LA Knight was kind of getting into the bag. So he wants his retribution against him because he thinks you cost it because it was just them two left in the match.
Fair.
Damien and they were over there, knocked out. So
they were. They were going.
So I think it was a good match.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I can understand that. I want to say that I love that standing moonsault. Wow, that was really impressive to see him get up and get that height, being such a big man. But I thought he had a pretty great debut. It was a little something, nice little taste. Can't wait to see more. Everyone keeps saying we need to know who he is, so please give us more so I can see all the incredible feats that everyone's saying he's going to bring to the table, right?
Yeah, and I just hope they're not going to just use him as muscle because I feel like everybody comes in as just muscle, and then we only see them as muscle, and we don't see them for the true potential that they are.
That's true, and I think that would do him a disservice because everyone says he's really great, and I've been following him on X, and I kind of like him.
Oh, okay. So, well then,
you got a new fan in me, JC. Even though I know apparently everyone knows him as Jeff Cobb, and maybe we're the ones struggling, it's fine. It's fine. Whatever you want to be called, I'm a little bit of a fan because I'm watching you interact with other people on X, and it's great. Okay, another thing to talk about. Ooh, Money in the Bank matches are underway.
Yes, they are.
They're underway. Women only this week. But Alexa Bliss with Mi Chen and Chelsea Green. I mean, that one was a fun one, too.
Listen, first off, how it first came, how the promo they did before the match, that was just funny. Because she was like, wait, what do you mean? Oh my God, I need y'all. I can't do this. I can't. And then she comes out like, yeah, dude. Like, girl, you was just scared back there. What are you talking about? Like, what happened? And then
she's special.
She is very special. Very, very special. But she is very she's really good in the ring. So I mean, I have to give her credit. I mean, I'm very quick to be like, I don't really care for you, but I do have to give credit where credit due. That was a really good match. That was a very competitive match. Even I think we miss discredit mention because she's very talented too. It was a go for go. What I say?
Mitchum.
Okay, say it again.
Mia Chen.
Mia Chen.
Yeah, she's Mia Yim, but they call her Meechum.
Right, but I also underestimated her because we don't see much of her. Once again, to start us up on the pedestal, we're not seeing a lot of really great wrestlers, female wrestlers, who actually bring more to the table than just being in the background. And she proved herself in that match. I am kind of sad that they gave it to Alexa Bliss, who's been gone for a year or two. I get it, but
it's not her fault. She was. I mean, she came. I'm not saying they didn't have anything for her.
I'm not saying that at all. But once again, this is also looking from I can't sit here and say, oh, Charlotte Flair, she goes away, she comes back, she gets X, Y, and Z, and now Alexa Bliss is doing the same thing. Okay, fine. You know, like she had a baby. That's wonderful. She's able to come back to work and do her job. But she also was gone for a minute too. Like, and she came back and left again. You understand what I'm saying? So it's still like, I don't think she should have been pushed. But I also get it. It was a very good match. It was a very competitive match. And I feel like it could have went either way because they're all really good.
They are.
I had another point to say, but I don't know. So I'll probably remember and try chime in. But if not, then it wasn't that important.
No, I do want to say I loved Alexa Bliss winning. I know I respect Meechum and I respect Chelsea, and I think I'm going to disagree with you a little bit because Meechum, we definitely had a lot of those street fights, and not to forget Chelsea and the garbage.
Yes, I do. I remember those.
That was delightful. But it does seem like we see her in a capacity with BFAB now. So I wonder if they're getting ready to do a tag team, which leads us back to the same tag team conversations we keep having. Because why are you together? Are you just homies? Also, what's your name? Are you planning on I don't understand the dynamic. I think, all right, soapbox time, but it's a small soapbox. It won't be a big one. Here's the problem. And I keep saying this. How can we have like the same kind of matches that the men's tag teams have, where they have matches against other tag teams and they work their way up to these title matches, so on and so forth, when we don't really have any women tag teams? We have random people that they put together. For instance, Bayley and Lyra, they was just together. They just was together. They did a gauntlet and voila, you are now the next people getting the title shot. It is a frustration of mine deeply that they do not create a bench deep enough for all these women to shine. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I really think they need to start digging in to some stories. Like, create tag teams. Let them be in tag teams for a little while. We're going to get into NXT a little bit later, but I definitely think there's several people, like I've said before, who could tag team up and be great together and start building this division. Now we're on tag teams. So I do want to talk a little about, did you remember yet?
No, it wasn't important.
Okay, so I want to talk a little about Fraxium, because you know how much I love Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
Yes.
Concerns, though, with the way that they're booking them. They've been on top so much lately. They beat the Street Profits last week. They beat DIY this week. Then they got their asses beat, too. But nonetheless, like, I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. As much as I like them, they're new to the roster. And I know they're quote unquote calling their shot, you know, as Shawn Michaels taught them. But is it too much too soon?
I mean, I think so. But I also feel that same way when it comes to everybody that comes in randomly, the new ones. Like, I feel the same way about Roxanne Perez. I feel the same way. Like, I get it. They're new talent, so you want to showcase them more. But in the same breath, why is it costing all the other talent that's talented getting pushed to the back?
Yeah. I'm definitely not looking forward to when SmackDown goes back to 2 hours because I feel like we're going to miss some of the extra storylines and things that have been kind of added to like fill out the
Mm-hmm.
show. And I want to be remiss because I forgot to mention our new Bloodline, quote unquote, issues ongoing with Jacob and Solo.
Uh-huh.
Um, that looked a little tense this week, a little bit with them and fighting over microphones. And I think we might have called this is on the way. That breakup is on its way.
Listen, I already told you, he's pretty much like, nigga, stop talking for me. Like, stop talking for me. Like, no, once again, I have to remind you that you didn't do this. I did this. And there's a reason why he has this thing of, I want to do it by myself so I can keep saying, I'm doing this. So you don't get the claim. And the fact that Solo wanted to even take his line, it was like, what are you doing? And then still took the rest of the line at the end. And it was just like, you act, first off, you act like a big brother who think he know too much. That's number one. Number two, you still are not, you're trying to cling to me for your success. So also, I mean, I guess we're going to tap into, but this is also good why Solo actually won the Money in the Bank qualifying match.
Yeah,
so then he can hopefully, that would help him claim something for himself instead of trying to piggyback off of someone else. Just because you, and I think the problem is too, as a community or as people, or how I'm looking at it, is that you feel that someone owes you something because they help you get there. So pretty much this is me looking at it, right? So if it was me, or how I'm looking, the perception of what I'm looking at is Solo feels because he brought you into the fold, your success is now his success because he brought you here. And if he didn't bring you here, you wouldn't be where you are. But then that's also a tenfold because now look what you're doing. Fair. You're creating a wedge instead of being humble, letting me tell you thank you for bringing it to me. Just like when he was trying to get him to tell him, no, say I love you so well how you normally would say it. And he's like, nigga, I don't love you like that right now. Like,
that was funny.
Like, you can look at his face like, first off, I said I love you.
Mm-hmm, he did.
Like, cool. And he's like, no. And it was like, sir, one, you're not Roman. Okay? You can't, we need you to get over that. You're not.
He's not.
That. And even when you were the new bloodline, you still wasn't that person. You was trying so hard. And that's why I feel like the kingdom, your fraction was able to crumble how it crumbled. And the one person who you have left, you thought you could still kind of like, and that person looking at you like, I was only here. Like, I was only here to try to help you. But since that didn't happen, now I'm making a path for myself.
Right.
I love you, but I'm going on this journey by myself. I'm still trying to be here for you, but you're going to stop claiming my stuff. And that's how I look at it. Yeah. I mean, what's your take?
No, honestly, I think I can't deny anything you just said. I mean, there's something to say for growth and growing out of things. And I'm curious, like, how JC Mateo fits into all of this, right? Like, is he the muscle? Is he, I think, honestly, like I said, I think he's a protector for Solo. Because we definitely know there's more Bloodline members to come, right? Mm-hmm. So, we'll see. I definitely think we're on to something. I wonder how fast it crumbles. Especially because we know, like, Solo's in the Money in the Bank match. And so I definitely think there's more to come. Speaking of Solo's match, I thought that match with him, Jimmy, and Rey Fenix was a blast to watch. It was so full of combinations. It was a good mix of characters. I am going to get a small thought here. I want to talk about Jimmy. Big Jim, if you will. Big Jim. As Naomi keeps reminding us, big in lots of ways. She keeps reminding us.
Well, you know what? She's like, I ain't with him for a lot of things, but you know.
This is our opportunity to put our shameless plug in here. If you like our episodes and you haven't had a chance to like, share, or hit that button and subscribe, this is your moment because we're going to continue this wrestling talk. But one to give you that reminder, on this video, you'll see a nice bell ring up around this time, but just wanted to remind you before we keep going. So anyway, we're skipping past that.
What I do? Oh, you started it. It wasn't even me who did this one. That was you.
Okay,
I
true.
didn't even go there. Okay, so
Okay,
you
well,
brought that up.
Okay, let me finish this thought. That why I get distracted. I just want more from him. I want more for Jimmy. I think he's a nice he's a good character. And I think initially when we saw him and Jay together, Jimmy was the one who kind of jumped off the page. And still does in a lot of ways. Like when he's in his promos, he's in his bag. I'd love to see him be elevated a bit too. I'd love to see him maybe like circling Jacob for that title. I just think it's time to elevate him too, and I'd like to figure out how we can get that done. Anyone got any thoughts? Y'all can go ahead and send me suggestions. We might put this in here for you guys to comment on too. But I want to see more from Jimmy, and I'd love to see booking kind of meet that. And then now we're just going to keep talking about more Samoans with Nia and Tiffy and their match, which was brutal. But before we do that, I know there was a promo with Jade and Tiffany with Naomi in the background that you had thought.
I just want to say, stop this talk with Jade in the title. Please stop. Send her back to NXT. Let her go get the title from whoever's going to win it from Battleground. Okay? That if you want to give her a title, give her that right now. She does not deserve the women's title. But nevertheless, I ain't gonna lie. When Naomi popped up in the back of the screen, I stopped listening to whatever Tiffany and Jay was talking about. Because I was trying to pay attention to Naomi. With her bright red hair. And she's like listening like a stalker, but you know, one of those scary movies when you be like, you come up from the background, you just be watching them like, oh, I'm about to get you that.
Like you tell proceed it with caution. Okay.
Yes, proceed with caution. But it was like almost like if you weren't paying attention when you finally did pop up that she was there, you went, wait, where you come from?
And I didn't even see it. That's what I was like, what?
Yeah, no, like that's what I'm saying. It was one of those like I was like, nah, let me rewind. And then you see her and she's listening intensely to the conversation between Jade and Tiffany. And it's like you can see her wheels turning like, oh, you still going for this title and y'all still going to let her go for this title over me. Oh, okay. That's what we're about to do. Now, granted, once it was done, I was like, oh, she about to, me and my brother both look, we're like, oh, she about to fuck up Jade. That's what's about to happen. She's about to, she's about to do something else. She did, but this is the thing, right? So now we're in the match of Nia and Tiffany, which was a crazy match.
It was.
But,
I mean, I definitely
but when Naomi came,
that blood
definitely was not. That was a lot.
That was different.
That was a lot. But when Naomi came out, my brother looked at me. He goes, "See, I told you, she fucked up Jade." And I was like, "She did." And then Jade come out. I was like, "Wait, what happened? I thought she fucked up Jade." He was like, "I don't know." I was like, and then, but in the end, yes, they started fighting. They went out that way, and they were doing this. And I am surprised that Nia didn't win.
Yes and no.
Because I felt like that's the way they was trying to make it go. But I get it. I think Naomi's gonna
that belt off of Tiffany right now.
Anytime soon.
Yeah. I think we might be past some Money in the Bank situation is what I think. I think that briefcase is going to play a role again this year, just like it did for Tiffany last year. So I could definitely see her holding on to it. And who knows? With Money in the Bank, the women tend to cash in that same night. Tiffany was the first one who held out for a while. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see there. All right, let's honorable mention. Aleister Black, Carmelo Hayes. Good match. Excellent.
That was a good match. I love when he kicks. When he be kicking, I'd be like,
listen, Aleister.
I'm like I watch you do the, but I'm like, nah, I don't think you I think you're actually connecting. I don't think there's no way that you're not connecting, because they'd be like,
yeah. It was good. I could get a part 2 of this one and not complain. And the Miz is always funny. Wherever you put him, whatever he does, he's great. All right, time to move on to Raw, because we got a lot to cover. So
we do.
All right. Whew. Where do we start? Let's start with this Logan Paul and Gunther promo, which you know we don't like Logan Paul.
I don't. And I could tell he was scared like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm not sorry.
But Gunther is one of those characters that just is a beast. You know what I mean? Like he just is. You can't
He
even.
radiance. He has confidence.
Yes,
Like his
and not just that,
confidence
but his
is radiant.
execution. You know who he
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of? I know this is probably crazy.
Who?
Brett the Hitman Hart.
Ooh.
Because
I
the thing
definitely did not
about
see that
Brett
one.
is he was technically excellent. Like it was just, the excellence of execution. I'm never gonna forget that tagline.
Right.
Technically, I'm like, what? But okay, anyway. So I digress. But he reminds me of someone who is just technically exceptional. And he doesn't need to say a whole bunch of crazy nonsense. He just tells you and you believe him. It's just that simple kind of the delivery of his message. So if I was Logan Paul, I would say the hell away from Gunther. That's what
I think so too.
Situation
I think he should not want to win because Gunther is going to beat the living crap.
He's going to murder somebody, and I, as much as I would rather it be Logan Paul, I have no desire for Jay to lose his championship, which takes us on this little title situation, which is wild. I mean, with the Seth Rollins and the Gunther and the Logan Pauls and the Jays of it all, it is like this wonderful square situation where you are just, there's everywhere you look, it's gonna be a banger. I mean, minus Logan Paul, I guess, but you know what I'm saying. Like everywhere you look, you got Braun coming in and out. You got like Sammy coming in and out. I'm getting my spidey senses are tingling with Sammy a little bit.
Oh, you think he's gonna turn?
Yes, I think he's been a goody for a while. I think it's about time.
I can see him turning on CM Punk. I don't know if I can see him turn on Jay yet.
Jay on him as needed.
I mean, yes, but I also think at that time it's because of whatever was happening with the Bloodline. So he was turning on everybody. So, and it took them a while to get back to them being like that or like this. So, I don't know. I know, like I said, I do know Sammy's history. I know that he can turn and he can turn on your friends and all this stuff. But I'm hoping it doesn't happen this Saturday. How about that?
That's fair. But
I hope it don't happen this Saturday. Like, no, this is not the time.
Well, we need a third man. So who's going to be the third man with the Seth in them? And by the way, somebody name this faction. Please.
I already told you.
Seth.
No, it's Paul Heyman and Friends.
Oh, that's right.
It's Paul Heyman and Friends.
Yes.
Starring Seth. There you go. That's what it is.
I love it.
Starring Seth. But what I can say, they are getting into Jay's head. And this is the problem. It's starting to get into his head. Granted, I ain't gonna lie. Jay looked a lot fitter when he came out. I was like, oh. You're like, oh no, you guys.
Like his presentation. He was just all the gold everywhere. I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Like his presentation was, but it still looked like he's been training because he's like, you've been hitting me too much with those right hooks. Like you could tell, like he's been like, I'm doing some quick bags. Give me a little, because I'm gonna have to do something because my little super kicks and this ain't gonna be it. I have to really like get, because now you've been doing too many cheap shots.
Yeah.
Even at the end, when we go always to the end, like he did a cheap shot again, all because you can't handle getting
that his ass is going to lose. Just
whatever.
They got to keep giving him shots because clearly he's going to lose. That would make me happy. But okay. That being said, I think we're in for a very fun ride on Saturday, and I can't wait. Y'all know I love me wrestling on a Saturday. Please, person. I have one issue here that I think we talked about. I didn't get the Tyrese Halliburton segment, and I'm gonna preface this with saying I am by no means a fan of basketball or football. So if you had your hopes up there, fans, sorry, I can't help you with that. Now I do watch NASCAR, so don't ask me how that randomly got into my mix, but blame Netflix. And of course, all the Olympic events, because that's fair. I mean, I feel like that's a spectacle we all get into. That being said, why did we have to spend all that time with Tyrese Halliburton? Why not spend it with someone, anyone, everyone else? Why don't you help explain that to me?
Well, let me explain. So tonight, well, when y'all see it, it's whatever. Tonight is the Eastern Conference of the playoffs, game 1 for the Knicks, New York Knicks. And the Pacers, which Tyrese plays. He's one of the starters. And just like how they reference back to the clip of Jalen Bronson, who is one of the starters of the New York Knicks, who's going to whip their ass. Anyway, so the significance of that was just the fact that no one could actually forecast that little matchup that they had against each other with LA Knight and Logan Paul was going to then present itself technically to the game tonight, which is them going against each other, Jalen and Tyrese. Now, granted, I do not understand how Tyrese became a playable player in WWE game. That I don't know.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Clearly, he paid to get in it, I think.
Or they paid him. I don't know.
Or they paid him. But that's just the back history why that is so significant, why they were talking to him, because of the fact of no one could actually realize that event in SmackDown in Madison Square Garden in June of 2024 was going to actually play out.
Almost tonight. A year later. Almost.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for explaining that to me. I want to take this opportunity to send our well wishes to Zoe Stark. You're one of my favorites. I'm really sad to see you get hurt, and just send you all the well wishes and positive thoughts and prayers for healing, so you get back to action soon.
Absolutely. Good vibrations, good healing vibes. Take your time. Do not rush back. Actually let your body heal. Get yourself together, because that definitely was devastating for us to watch as well. So definitely
huge fan of yours. So definitely sad to see that match end like that. Great to see Kairi Sane back though.
Absolutely. And she was out for injury too, so that was kind of good too.
It was to see her in that pirate gold. I was cracking up. I did not know what that was because I wasn't exactly watching way back. So I was like, that's gold. It's cute. All right. The last thing we're going to talk about on Raw is this Judgment Day segment with Roxanne. Her securing her spot in the Money in the Bank. So I'm going to start with this segment with Judgment Day. Ooh-wee, was it fun. I started screaming at my house like, Dom is not loyal. So the fact that she started with him was amazing. And then giving Carlito the apple, also crazy work. How'd she get them chicken nuggets in a clothes box though? Like, well, that was a move that was made, and it was intentional. And I was waiting to see what her other gifts for them were, and didn't see none. Didn't see none for anybody else. So I definitely think this is Finn working his little magic, if you will, into messing with Dom and to Liv a bit. She should be back, I think, next week or the week after. So I can't wait to see how she's going to react to Roxanne's presence on Raw.
Well, I think Roxanne is coming. It reminds me of Liv. When Rhea was gone, she kept prying on Dom, trying to get her way in there, even though Dom kept resisting. No, she clearly did not know the way to his heart was chicken nuggets. I think if she just gave him a box of chicken nuggets, he wouldn't have had to fight that hard. But I definitely find it ironic that she did give Carlito apples, since he's Google Gaga over Raquel. But Raquel is a loyal friend. She was like, she will hear about this. You gave us the gifts. Now go. Get out.
That was great.
Because I was even going like, you messed up by not getting her a gift. I would have been like, here's a gift. Here's money. Or here's a box of bandanas. Here you go, girl. Like, put it in there. But she was, she was focusing on the wrong two people.
She was, I think.
On purpose.
But apparently, she's also in really well with Finn. So I'm definitely interested to see what's up there. Because, I told you, he's starting some. So anytime, tick, tick.
I mean, granted, it did make sense. His theory of like, well, the girls don't have anybody. You have us. The girls don't have nobody, so why can't we? I'm not saying she's joining the Judgment Day. And I was like, she's definitely joining the Judgment Day.
Not only is she joining, but
I said, and she's about to. But then also, too, I was kind of slow because I didn't realize Liv was actually the leader. But then it kind of like solidified. I was like, oh, she's the leader, because she's like, she's going to hear about this. Liv need to know. And I was like, why does Liv need to know?
When did she become the leader?
That's what I'm saying. When did she become the leader? It wasn't a clear thing. It just became like and then that was like the solidifying, like, well, she's going to know. We can't do anything without her. Why? She
Yeah,
ain't the leader.
because if
That
you
was the whole point of Judgment Day. Y'all weren't supposed to have no leaders.
right, which is why they
Y'all supposed
kicked
to be free
out.
thinking individuals.
That's right, which is why they kicked out Rhea and Damien because they were like trying to be the leaders, right? So okay, well this ain't gonna go good. We'll find out.
Nope.
how that
We'll
goes.
find out. Let's see how Dominic gets himself out the, because he definitely opened that box and started eating the chicken nuggets.
He did.
He didn't was like, no. Carlito just looked at the apple, was like, oh, and he put it back. He was like, I know better, but he was like,
No, he ate it.
He did
He ate it.
Oh, I was too busy watching Dominic eat the chicken nuggets. I was like,
he definitely did. So Raquel smacked the first one out of his hand, and so he grabbed a second one. I watched this over because I wanted to confirm. He grabbed the apple and bit into it, and I was like, that's wild. Also, he gonna be in trouble. All right, let's talk NXT real quick.
All right.
So we can move on. All right. Well. I'm so excited. I want to know your first impressions of NXT. Like, what was your first impressions of, the episode overall?
It was all right. I mean,
she says with such enthusiasm.
I know. I mean, granted, I will say the first match, there was a couple moves. I was like, oh, where'd he get that from? Oh, where you learn that from? But then it was like, okay, like, all right, cool. But then I think the most entertaining part for me was Trick's song to Joe Henry. That was the most funny part. I was into that, and I think I was into it because of Booker T's ad-libs, and it reminded me of our brother. You got it too, right? Like hearing the things, I was like, I can hear him all even like, and I'm like, oh my god,
shout out to Kamal, one of our most loyal and our best fans. He'll join us one
day.
But yes, he did remind me. I had that same thought when I was watching it, and that. So I'm gonna be honest.
So I'm happy that you had the same thought, because I'm sitting here going, I had to write it down. I was like, this is a note. Okay, this is the other thing. I started writing notes because I needed to pay attention because I didn't know what was going on. I mean, granted, I didn't write a lot of notes, but I wrote some notes. But that one I had to like write down because I was like, but it was really good. I'm not that little promo was good. Like that was like, oh, I like this and like I said, the ad libs definitely helped it because it was like,
what was it? Ordinary Joe or regular Joe?
Average Joe.
Average. There you go. I thought that junk was funny. I was cracking up, and Booker T, I just want Trick to cut it in the studio and Booker T to be there with every single.
That's it. Everything.
So I can put it out. Download it from Spotify. So kindly, that is Kiara's request, if we could get that up on Spotify, Apple Music as soon as possible. What do you think about Joe Henry's concert situation?
It was definitely trash. I still don't like him. I don't get it. I you want to know what's funny? I actually listened to his intro music one time, like a couple days ago, and I was like, "What is this?"
Why are you like?
He's like, "Where you find me? Call my name." What? What are we? Are we Carmen Sandiego? We couldn't find Carmen, so how are we gonna find you by calling your name?
I found Carmen. Okay, one time in that game.
I found Carmen at least twice. Okay, that was my show. I was a good sleuth, but that's not the point. You know how many tries it took me to find her, but for me to be like, fine, here I am, boy, shh. And then the song that you were doing, whoop that trick, and it was like, what?
Okay, well,
isn't that his line?
Yes,
isn't his line? So I wasn't understanding what the.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I guess
not your favorite.
Okay, me. Because I was about to say something crazy.
Okay, on to the next. All right, well, we all know her thoughts, and I think Trick to me won that situation.
Absolutely.
Javon Edwards, goodness. Javon Evans, Ashante the Adonis, and that guy named Legacy from Evolve. And I'm sorry I could say this because I can't remember his whole name, but the last name Legacy stuck with me. So I love Javon Evans. You know that. I will say.
Do I know that? Because when you were saying their names, I don't know who they were. I was
Javon Evans, Bouncy.
I do know who Adonis is.
Of course, you gonna know him. Okay, call the police. So
anyway,
call the police. Javon Evans was like the flyer during that entire match.
Yes,
come on now.
Yes,
all right, good.
He was
great. I loved his moves. He terrifies me sometimes. I'm like, is he gonna be able to walk in the next 10 years? I don't know, but he's a fan too, and I love seeing fans really get to live out their dreams. So loving seeing everything he does. Now, Ashanti the Adonis. Won't we start kissing females in the audience?
Okay, see, that's the thing. I didn't see that part. I was cooking.
You was definitely cooking something if you had seen that.
Oh wow.
So he
Word.
comes out to the ring. And when he comes out, like right before he gets to the ring, he's like, in a crowd, he looks at this girl and he's like, kiss on the cheek. And so she leans in to kiss him on the cheek and he turns, kisses her in her mouth. And she's like, and I was like, oh, okay. I was
Well,
like,
I hope that was a
we need to
wrestler
take a
and
trip
not some
to
random person.
I just saying. I hope it's somebody.
Did
he
you just say
knows.
you want? Did you just say you want to take a trip?
We're definitely taking a trip to go see an NXT
I'm telling
taping.
my brother-in-law.
You should. I'm not going to be kissed by anybody.
I'm telling.
I'll make sure we're not.
I'm a snitch.
Why are you like this? I will not be getting kissed by anybody.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, how you was leading the way, it was like, well, now I'm going to. Oh, now you want to go take a taping of NXT after you see him kiss somebody, girl?
No. Anyway, yes, that reason. Also, I want to see how real it is. I want to see how real it is. Like, who else is he gonna lean up to and randomly kiss? Remember when Angel used to?
Yes, I remember when they used to do that, and they had the little stupid heart thing in it, but they would both kissed her on the cheek. They would both do the thing
because they're married and not crazy. Ashanti the Adonis, I have questions about your life, but that doesn't matter. I'm curious to see if this continues.
She could have had a disease. I hope you vetted her first, Lord.
Just why are you people like this? Anyway, that match was fun. That's all I want to say. It was fun.
I say
Legacy, whoever you are, you got me interested in maybe following you to evolve. So I will figure out who you are and catch up on all of that because it was fun. All right, let's talk Lola Vice and Fallon Henley. So, I have thoughts quickly about this one. I liked her so much better before she went into this mean girl era. Like, her persona to me screams like country girl, fun, smart, tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
This mean girl thing doesn't suit her. Mm-hmm. I never did like her with this fatal influence situation. I think they could have let all that go. This mean girl group it's not working. It's definitely not working. So I'm ready for this implosion that they're already teasing because I don't get it. And I feel like when she was a tag team with Kiana James, that was a actually viable tag team, I felt. Their styles complemented each other. I think their stories complemented each other. Granted, technically it was a whole story about Kiana dating one of the tag teams that she was in a faction with, one of the tag team members. I think it was Briggs. No, she wasn't dating Briggs. She was dating the other one whose name I can't remember. Because he had this weird storyline and then I guess he disappeared. I don't know who he is anymore. I just want to see more for her. And I don't know what this thing is. It's not working with Fatal Influence. Lola Vice, always happy to see you. But I'm still not super impressed with her yet. I still don't see main roster on her yet. So. Kalani Jordan and
wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I watched that match.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. I thought okay.
And I saw the promo before.
Okay, well carry on.
Okay, see, you just wanted to skip all over me. I said I watched some of it. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
sorry. You begged me to watch. Now I got something to say.
Well, let's hear
you want to skip over me?
Let's hear it.
Okay. So I actually liked their match. Granted, the promo, I do think that explosion needs to happen between those two because I'm not understanding how y'all supposed to be a tag team, but y'all can't get along. Even while you out there on the ring, you still talking mad junk. And it was like,
well, Fallon used to be the NXT women's
American
champion.
Right. They said that she was the first one, which is fine. Okay, cool. But it was like
she wasn't the first one.
That's what they said in the thing. Well, that's what I heard.
No, Kalani Jordan, I think, was the first one.
Oh, you know what? I watched that match too, so maybe I got them confused. Anyway, but I do like. The one thing I can't say about the match, they were good. But I also like watching representation of women who are curvier, like me, and not seeing people like this when we were growing up.
Yeah,
right?
That's real. So
I do like that they're allowing the women to be themselves and not trying to change them in that regard. I do like the fact that the beginning of the promo, she was talking to Stephanie. They were talking in Spanish or whatever. They was talking to each other. Okay. Right. And I was like, oh, okay. I know. Okay.
It's not the first time they talk a lot in Spanish.
Right. But I'm also like, now I get why you're Lola Vice, which I mean, that makes sense. Okay. But I do want to just touch one thing. I'm happy she actually had a natural tan and not an orange one. Okay, I'm good. Now you can go now.
Jordan and Zarya and Soul, who was, a special guest.
It was okay match.
It was. Soul's new look, girl. Yes. I don't know what you did at the salon, but ever since you've come back, this new look is giving. And I want to say that. Girl, you look great. But and this partnership with Zarya has been fun to see because Zarya was kind of this like kind of monster type figure, and Soul is all hippy dippy and into sun and sand and trying to make Zarya do happy fun things, which was a bust many times. It was a fun dynamic. But she's a double champion, isn't she? She has like the speed championship and she has the
John say.
You don't know? Okay, I think she has 2 championships, but that doesn't matter. Neither here nor there. The point is, it was okay. It was a good way to introduce you, I think, into NXT and the girls. Kalani Jordan, she was the first North American champion. Sidebar, she's also dating Carmelo Hayes, in case you want to know that. And she's pretty good. She's not great yet, though, but she's pretty good. And they had this great ladder match not too long ago with a whole bunch of them. That was amazing. So definitely something to take a look at if you're interested. Lastly, we're just going to get into this Ethan Page and Ricky Saints situation because Ricky Saints is the North American champ. Just to give you a little bit more information, Ricky comes from AEW, as does Ethan Page, coincidentally. Ethan debuted first and became North American champ quickly, beating Trick, I think. I can't remember, but it was really great. I think so, because that's why Trick been trying to get his belt back, or a belt back, for a while. Nonetheless, and I don't think that was a North American champion. I think it was an NXT World Championship. Either way, he came, he saw, he conquered quickly. And then it's been kind of like on and off since then. And with Ricky Saints, again, he came, he conquered, and he quickly got a championship. I think he's great. I loved his gimmick in AEW. Didn't like that they didn't use him that much. Am liking this little rivalry between them two. Don't necessarily get the beef though. I'm like, what's the problem? Was he not welcoming enough? Like, I don't get it. That's the only thing I wish sometimes NXT would go into deeper storytelling here, because I know they tell these stories really quick, is that like, why don't you like each other again? Can you remind me? I'm sure they'll remind us before Battleground, but I think Battleground's shaping up to be fun. We did get to spend some time with Stephanie. That promo with her, that sit-down interview, was great. I enjoyed the hell out of listening to her tell stories about Mexico and Japan and how hard she fought and how much progress she made just to be where she is. It was very heartfelt. I was emotionally tied into it, so I like that too. So I think we're in a good spot heading into Battleground. And I watched the majority of NXT, which is a struggle bus because sometimes I'm sleepy from Monday, but I watched the whole thing. It usually takes me several days, so y'all are welcome that we leaned into that this week. Some fun honorable mentions you want to tell before we move anywhere. Did you want to see anything else about NXT? Any lasting thoughts on NXT?
Just make that song a single.
That's it. Make it a single.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I feel you. We did have some fun.
Wait.
What?
There was one part.
Okay.
Miss Parker,
yes.
and her rudeness.
It's amazing.
But it was kind of funny, but it wasn't funny, but it was funny because I guess for me it was like, like I should care, but I know I don't, so I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
that's great.
Girl, what's wrong with you? But that was about it. I was just like, oh, I was like, wait a minute.
It was funny.
I was like, yeah, you came out of nowhere. Pop, here's my hip. And, I really did it. Yeah. And then she was like, I really am, like, I understand. She's like, oh, really? She's like, no, I don't care. I was like, ooh.
Paxton's story. Okay, so.
I mean, you gave me the Cliff Notes version.
So she did kind of lose everybody to cuts or releases, so poor girl's by herself there. And I like that they're leaning into this I'm alone thing and that she's unhinged thing, but Paxley Tatum, or I think that's her name. Either way, like, I don't know yet. The jury's out on her. By herself, I never quite got it. They had her with this doll thing, and I thought low budget Alexa Bliss storyline, because I was like, why would you give her a doll when we have Alexa still walking around with a doll? Yeah, I don't know.
Which I love the fact that she still is doing Sister Abigail. I have to say,
I wonder if that means something while we're talking about Alexa Bliss. I wonder if that
anyway,
means
go
something.
ahead.
Anyway, all right, let's move on. So, like I said, we had some fun this week. We got the chance to check out some AEW stuff, and that steel cage match with Smojo and John Moxley, and all the crew, that happened to be around ringside. Because good gracious, folks,
that was a lot. I fell asleep, but I woke up and he was bleeding. And I was like, when did that happen? I kind of like rewinded, and it still didn't show when it happened. I was like, when did it happen?
Commercial
when did
break.
you start bleeding? Right. But it was just like, dude, and then you're bleeding, and then you got your blood on everybody. And it was just like, dude, that is just crazy. Like, what are y'all doing?
Moxie
but it was actually it was a good match. I didn't expect it not to be a good match.
It was great. I love
especially
Joe.
Towards the end when the I guess the people, like, he won, whatever, they cheated.
Moxley,
clearly they cheated.
Yeah.
Because I think Samoa was about to win. But whatever.
Probably.
They cheated. Moxley cheated. And then they brought the cage back up. And then these two, like, no, let's go in there. We're going to beat him up. Bring the cage back down. Boom. And then whoever that tall black dude was, I don't know, he came running out. And they was like, oh, no, we need to bring it back up. We're not getting beat up by this black man. And then it was just like, then they all scattered and ran. It was like, why y'all scared? Y'all scared now? What you scared about? And then it was clearly, because he clearly climbed that cage with quickness. I was like, wow, you are tall and fast. That's crazy.
I think that was Hobbs, based on what I saw before I had to
listen. I don't know who it is. I have no clue. I just was watching the match.
All right.
Actually,
so based on that, I did get to see that, and I saw a segment with MJF and MVP. I think that's his name. Where we are? But I was like, okay. I hope that's his name still, and he owns it, because no say. But I am interested in this Hurt Syndicate situation. I'm also interested in seeing it implode. MJF is very fun to watch go through things. So I will. So that being said, Kiara will be watching Dynamite again this week. Now, I don't know if you can convince me to watch Collision, but I will definitely catch some of Dynamite this week, because it just reminded me. I love Joe. Now, I have no idea what's going on in the storylines of it all. I'm gonna have to catch some of our friends' podcasts to see if they could catch me up on things. Like, why is Ricochet bitter now? Like, what's going on with him? Will Ospreay. I do like watching him. I discovered that recently, that I enjoy a lot of his matches. Yeah, we're gonna get you there. But
I do want to shout out to our friends, the podcast Wrestling Junkies.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us on your thing. And look at that. I started watching NXT, and you got us to watch that match in AEW. See, look, yeah, helped.
You helped, and I am grateful. Shout out to them for inviting us. I hope we can join them again. But beyond that, we also saw some TNA, right? We got to see some stuff in TNA too, which I think was necessary, because we needed some further background on this whole Trick Williams and Joe Hendry situation.
Yeah.
But it was also great to see kind of the Rascals in action. It was great to see Jeff Hardy and Nick Nemeth. That was a very good match
too,
because it's good to see people that have departed from WWE that I just thought were great and haven't seen them in a while. Even with like I said, the Rascals, Wentz, I think his name was something totally different in NXT, and I know he came back, but it was still fun. Zachary Wentz. So it was still fun to see them doing great things in TNA. So we'll see if we can continue going on there. Also did see Nikita Lyons on there.
That match was cool. It was interesting. It was cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm not even gonna pick it up. That's all right. Now you know what time it is.
Speed round!
That's right, where we get to make our picks for this weekend's big matches. And I want to start with NXT, since that's where we just left. So we're going to go backwards a little bit, right? I know. Okay. I know. You don't know. Oh, did you get a chance to see Obafemi? No?
Maybe.
Possibly. Big black man?
Maybe.
Comes to the ring and struts.
It's a lot of big black men.
It is. Actually, NXT has that's true. Anyway, so we're going to take it off the bottom. Or
Wait, hold on. Is that the one who's fighting the deaf one?
yes, yes,
Okay, so yeah, I saw him.
yes. And that, in
Okay.
fact, is the first match we're gonna go speed round on. So NXT
Okay.
Championship match: Obafemi versus Miles Bourne, or as you like to call it, the champion and the deaf one. So I don't know why you said it
That's
like
so
that,
me. Oh, my bad. I was.
but I think that's how
Oh
you can
no.
remember him. We all know that he's dealing with a ability, and that he's overcome a lot of things, and it's amazing to hear his story. So who do you got in this championship match?
Deaf one.
You're gonna have
I'm a
Miles
mom.
Bourne.
Yes, I'm a mom, so I have a little soft spot. When he was talking, I was like, I believe in your story. So yes. Do I actually really think you're gonna win? Probably not, but I'm gonna say yes.
Cool. I'm always gonna go Obafemi. I don't think anyone's taking him off of anything, unless they happen to steal him to go up to the main roster. I say he's gonna be champion down there for a little while longer. It's fun to see these NXT champions who are like, you think that's like the most amazing thing, and then they move on to another champion who seems to be really good. I feel like they've done a lot of that recently with Carmelo, and then Trick, and then Ethan Page, and then Oma. I mean, I just feel like they've done a great job with setting up their championships. But then what do we do with them? So slight pick there. All right, NXT Women's Championship match: Stephanie Vaquer versus Jordan Grace.
Jordan.
And go with Jordan. I'm going to agree with you because I think it's time for Stephanie to get the hell out of NXT and get up to the main roster. I'm ready to see her take on these bigger names. I'm ready to see her name in the big lights. And frankly, Raw needs more females that have some star power. Not saying that they don't have it now, saying they're not using these women now. So since they seem to be enamored with Stephanie, bring her on up. She has amazing skills. All right, TNA World Championship match with Joe Henry and Hendry. Yep. And Trick Williams, which, who are we picking?
Trick.
You gonna pick
I'm
Trick?
picking Trick. Yes.
You know what? Because this is another promotions championship, I'm in a spot here because I don't know what else there is for Trick to do in NXT. So I say Joe Hendry keeps his championship. Yep, I'm saying Joe Hendry keeps his championship. All right. Okay. NXT Women's North American Championship match: Sol Ruka, so that was a North American Championship, versus Kalani Jordan.
I'll pick Kalani.
I'm gonna pick Kalani too because I think Zarya is gonna be over. Then we have a singles match with Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Did you get any background on this match? Know anything about it? Okay, so Tony D'Angelo is the resident mob boss here in.
Oh, okay. I think I saw him in. I saw. Okay. And then they turned on him at the
Channing Stacks turned on him. Disrespectful.
Okay. See. Yes. Okay. So I'm going with the mob boss.
Going with the mob boss. I love me some Tony D'Angelo. So burn it down, Tony. A 6-man tag team match: Hank and Tank. Sorry, this name is wild. And Josh Briggs versus the Culling with his. Oh, that's the person. I can answer that question now. Hold on. The Culling with Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and Sean Spears. So here's why this is important. So remember how I told you that what's her name? Fallon Henley was in a group. She was in a group with Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen. So Brooks Jensen was the one who had the liaison with Kiana James, which is why they were a little bit of a tag team for a while, because he was quote unquote in love until we found out she was cheating on him. But it's hard out there. Nonetheless, Josh and Brooks they were a tag team. Actually, coincidentally, as we've been talking about these tag team situations, they were a great tag team, but they decided to go their own separate ways. And then they put Josh in this new tag team with a wrestler who was from Japan, I believe. I was very confused at anything to do with that story, but I say make Josh and Brooks a daggone tag team again and cut the nonsense. But who you got in this 6-man tag team match, if you had to pick a name? Or a group? 3 men. It's 3 men. Just pick one.
The underdog. Whoever's the underdog. Pick the underdog.
The underdog here. Hank and Tank are champions. The Culling are kind of like bullies in a way.
Yeah, lackeys. I don't want them to win. So anybody but them.
So you want Hank and Tank and Josh?
Yeah, anyone but them.
I kind of like Sean Spears, so I'm going to pick the Culling.
Okay.
All right, so next speed round. Saturday night main event picks. There's only 4 matches, y'all, and there's no women.
And no woman. Not a woman's match. I don't understand.
I don't like it. Drives me crazy. Makes me a little angry. But okay. All right, so speed round. We're going to go backwards. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match because, yes.
So I'm going to say that they both do something stupid and the match ends and it keeps going. I don't think it's going to stop.
Okay, so when you say that, you don't think, what do you think?
I don't think neither one was going to win. I don't think neither one is, I think it's just going to be something that's going to continue until Money in the Bank. And then once Money in the Bank happens, then it will be
You think it'll be done Money in the Bank? Oh, so you're saying like a...
I mean, like no one's going to get disqualified. Match. They can't get disqualified, but they're going to do something where neither one of them can get up.
Okay. So it'll be a tie kind of thing.
Yeah, like they're going to do something stupid and neither one of them going to get up.
Okay.
That's what I feel. So far, they have proven us right every time.
I love this for you. I have to
you feel the same way. That's why you can't pick.
I'm going to pick Drew, I think, because have you seen him? That's why I'm going to pick Drew. And I hope he's doing better after he went through that daggone table looking real crazy. So that's why I'm picking Drew. Also because his ex tweets are hilarious and enjoyable as hell. So, yeah. All right. So.
But he wasn't tweeting that night.
My guy was probably resting with no lights in his eyes. Then let's talk undisputed WWE champion John Cena versus R-Truth. And I can't tell if this is for the championship or not. So, who you got?
I'm going to say John Cena.
Yeah.
John Cena.
I don't think it... Yeah, John Cena.
I mean, R-Truth is going to have such... I think it's going to be a good match. I just don't think R-Truth is going to...
Do you think it's going to be a good match? Because how much of this is going to get lost in the ether of confusion? All right, on to the next. All right, so CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker.
I think CM Punk and Sami Zayn.
I'm going to go with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker because I think there's a surprise coming. I can't imagine. I think there's a surprise coming, and
I think surprise
maybe
coming too.
It's Roman. Maybe it's a third person. I don't know.
But to help Seth and
I didn't say help him.
But
I think that if he attacks Seth, then
by disqualification that they're going to win. Oh, okay. I'm about to say what?
I think either by disqualification.
If he comes to help them, I am going to be the most shocked person in the universe. Not going to say I'm gonna run away because you know how much I love Roman. So it's not even about that. But it's just going to be like,
why are you like this? Okay. Cool. All right, last match, World Heavyweight Championship, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. We're eating all day. Yeet.
4 letters. 1 word.
Okay, all right. Yeet it is, because I agree with you. All right, it's time to wrap things up. This was our first wrestling only episode. We hope you enjoyed all the topics we discussed. We even expanded, you guys. We went to NXT. We talked about TNA. We opened up the door to AEW. If we're missing something that you think we need to talk about or you want to know about, don't forget to hit us up on your favorite social channels. We are on Instagram. We are on X. We're on Threads. We're on Facebook. We are on
TikTok.
So any opportunity to come.
We have the best fans on TikTok.
Shout out to all of our fans on TikTok and your wonderful thoughts, your comments, and all the fun and positivity you bring. Y'all can leave that negativity at the door. Because we're not tribal.
Ignore you. Here. We will ignore you.
We love all the wrestling.
Keep the stupidity on the other pages.
That's right. Leave it there. But other than that, we want to remind you this is your moment to like, share, subscribe to our channel. If you like this and you want to know and you want more, there'll be clips released throughout the week. But it was great talking to y'all. This is another fun episode. We made it. So we want to say we're not new to this.
We are so true to this.
And this is Main Event Mama.
Main Event Mamas. Yay!